Welcome, one and all, to the Always Bayern Chelsea show. This episode will be releasing on Friday, November 8th, if all goes to plan. Jim and I are in different locations again, so you'll be getting me here tonight talking on the microphone, and then Jim will send over some audio clips, and I'm going to try to mix and match them and make things all work out. But we've got some midweek matches to discuss, some European football to talk about, which is always exciting. Bayern Munich had a 1-0 victory in the Champions League against Benfica, and Chelsea is playing Noah in the Conference League. So I'm going to just jump right in here and start by discussing Bayern Munich's Champions League match against Benfica. And like I said, it was 1-0. The result might not have been that exciting, but it was a necessary result because at this point in the Champions League, Bayern Munich desperately needed a win after getting blown out by Barcelona and losing to Aston Villa 1-0. So with this new league phase that you'll hear me talk about a lot, there's no more groups. Everybody's in one big pot. The top 8 teams advance, and then I believe it's 9 through 26 or 25 or something like that, the playoff, that have another match, a playoff match, and then see who moves on from there, and then the bottom teams, whatever it is, 26 through 32 or whatever, just don't advance at all. So new format, things are crazy this year. We saw Man City lose, we saw Real Madrid lose the other day, and it's just a lot of upsets, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but Bayern kind of has this tougher stretch in the Champions League here in the beginning of the tournament. But yeah, let's just jump into the match now. Enough babbling from me, and I'll run through the lineup here. We did see Manuel Neuer as the keeper, of course, and then we saw a back line of Konrad Laimer, Diet Upamecano, Kim Min-jae, and Alphonso Davies. Now, I say this with a little bit of a caveat because to me it seemed like Kimmich and Laimer were almost switching positions. So Laimer was the right back officially, I believe, and then Kimmich was in the midfield along with Joao Felix, but oftentimes you saw Kimmich drop back to kind of form a back three with the center backs Upa and Kim. The attackers starting out were Michael Olise on the right wing, Jamal Musiala at the 10, Serge Gnabry on the left wing, and Harry Kane up top as the striker. Now, right from the get-go, it was pretty obvious what Benfica's plan was, and that plan was to park the bus all match long, slink back, sit in the box. It seemed like, it seemed like they had 7, 8, 9 guys in the box back there. It was crazy. I mean, now granted that formula has been shown to work against Bayern Munich, so if you're trying to go toe-to-toe with Bayern, I guess a team like Benfica probably doesn't have the attacking prowess to do so. But man, that's just not a style of football that I enjoy watching. Maybe you could say it's smart, it certainly worked in the first half and for much of the second half because Bayern didn't get a goal until later in the match. But wow, it was just a compact shape, deep in the pitch. I mean, Neuer was playing on Benfica's side for moments of the match just to try to paint a picture of how deep that box was, or I guess how deep that shape was in the box and how parked that bus was. So it was frustrating, but again, that's been shown to frustrate Bayern so far. Teams that do that and then score on the counter have had success against Bayern. It was almost like they watched the Villa match in the Champions League and said, we're going to do exactly that, except Benfica really didn't have the counter-attacking ability or, I guess, game plan that Villa had with Watkins and with Duran. So, yeah, the beginning of the match, it seemed like Bayern had the ball the entire time. Benfica would touch the ball here and there, and then Bayern would win it back instantly. So that's, I guess, a little bit maybe not a knock on Benfica as much as it is a compliment to Bayern and their ability to win back the ball. Their defense was just rock solid the entire match, start to finish. I thought Kim played an amazing match. Davies and Laimer, running up the wings as the wing backs, but really contributing to the offense and basically being an additional attacker trying to break through that parked bus. And Upamecano had a good match as well. So that's kind of what you saw if you were watching the match. And yeah, when things started, Bayern couldn't break that low block, and that was frustrating to watch as a fan because that's what we saw, throughout this season as Bayern has struggled against a low block. And obviously the blueprint is out there for teams, and Benfica would have been very happy to escape with a point, so I can see why they did it, but Bayern would not have been happy to escape with a point. Bayern needed a win. And so the moment of action, the decisive moment of action in the match, happened in the 67th minute. All the way in the 67th minute. See, I don't even have much analysis in the beginning of the match because honestly not a lot happened. Bayern was firing off shots, but a lot of them weren't very quality shots. Kane had a good number of quality shots, but it was almost like Kane was just doing things himself. Like he got tired of not being serviced and all of a sudden just took things into his own hands and tried to make plays. But back to what I was saying, the 67th minute, Jamal Musiala scores another header off of an assist from Harry Kane and a beautiful ball in from Leroy Sane. Jamal Musiala has been playing like a striker in my eyes and has just found himself in the box, in the right place, in the right time. And I think it was Company after the match maybe, or maybe it was a different day, who said that Musiala has great examples. He has Harry Kane and Thomas Muller to look up to and to practice with when it comes to being in the right place at the right time. And so it seems like he's learning from these guys, and it's really paying off because he's playing just like I said, like a striker, like Kane does. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that Kane and Musiala combination was too much for Benfica to handle. But I do want to say, I think the moment of the match actually came before that. Sorry, I'm going a little bit out of order. I'm kind of just going off rip here, a little bit jumbled up. But in the 55th minute, we saw Leroy Sane come on, and I have that as my moment of the match because Olise wasn't doing too much, to be honest. Gnabry wasn't doing too much. A chance here and there for them both. But when Leroy Sane came on, it brought a new energy to the team. Things changed. And from this point onward, I guess, until we see differently, which could very well happen, I want to see Sane in the starting lineup. I kind of tiptoed around that idea before, but I need to see Sane starting. If it's over Olise until Olise kind of gets some of his confidence or some of his swagger back, maybe, I'll take it. But what I mostly want to see is Sane on the left wing and Olise on the right wing, Musiala at the 10, Kane at the top. I think that's Bayern Munich's best attack. With Coman and Gnabry, I want to use them, especially in the super sub role. I think those guys coming on with fresh legs could provide maybe some creativity to an attack if Bayern's in a little bit of a stalemate of a match and things stall out. But I think that Sane and Olise are just our two best wingers right now. I think that Coman and Gnabry are a little too up and down. I think they're hot and they're cold, and if they're hot, maybe you ride them for a few games. But overall, I just think our most solid attack, like I said, Sane left wing, Musiala 10, Olise right wing, Kane on top. I've decided, as of right now, that's what I want to see. Maybe I'm wrong. Come back to me in the future, I guess, if I am. But yeah, so that's kind of how the match played out. After that goal, Bayern still looked hungry. They were still getting more chances. Sane was still putting shots on. But in the 71st minute, Kingsley Coman came in for Gnabry. And then in the 92nd minute, Thomas Muller came on for Jamal Musiala. So that's kind of where my analysis of this match is going to end. I wish I had more to say, but if you watch the match, I think you would most likely agree with me that things were kind of, things were kind of stalled for a while. It was a little bit of a stalemate where Bayern was just controlling the game, trying to find a way through the defense, and just wasn't. So that's all I got for you on that one. In terms of match analysis, but let's go through match awards now, because my man of the match, oddly enough, in a 1-goal match, it wasn't the goal scorer. My man of the match was Harry Kane. I just thought he had the best overall match of the team. Like I said earlier, he was making things happen for himself at times and was just putting in headers, and he got the assist on the goal. He was the one who I thought was the most consistent. And then the Robin of the match was Jamal Musiala. I can't go without mentioning him because he did score the decisive goal in the match. My underrated player of the match, you can probably guess, Leroy Sane. When he came on, things changed and things looked better for Bayern. Their whole attack looked better. So Sane is the underrated man of the match. I thought about putting him as the just straight up man of the match, but couldn't do it. Had to give it to Kane. Defender was a tough one again because I said before this whole defense looked great. Pretty much pick any of the four. I feel like I've said that the last couple of weeks, but the defense has really put on good performances. I would say that Kim Min-jae was probably the best of the defenders. He reminded me of the Korean monster, as he was called, at Napoli. It seemed like he was living up to that nickname in this match. He was winning challenges. He was positionally aggressive but smart about it, and was winning aerial duels a lot of the times too. So Kim just had a great match. But I can't give the match awards, I guess, without mentioning Joao Felix. And Kimmich had a great game too, don't get me wrong, but I was trying to fit Paulina in there somewhere for the match awards, and I just decided to talk about him separately because I thought he had a very, very, very good match. Paulina played this match how I want to see him play for Bayern Munich, which was providing a lot of defensive stability, making aggressive but smart tackles, winning the ball back in key moments. And I thought Paulina was a massive part of the quick recovery that Bayern had when they would lose the ball. So had to mention him there. But that's how the match kind of played out. And now we look ahead to the Bundesliga again this weekend, Saturday, November 9th. Bayern plays St. Pauli on the road, and I'm hoping that's going to be a win. I'm hoping it's going to be a decisive win where Bayern can even rest some guys. St. Pauli is a lower table team, in my opinion, probably one of the 4 or so worst teams in the Bundesliga, so it's a team that Bayern should be able to handle relatively easily. But like I said, I'd like to see some players get rested because after the international break here, Bayern rolls into an extraordinarily tough stretch of their schedule where they play in a span of a week Bayer Leverkusen in the Pokal, PSG in the Champions League, and Dortmund in the Bundesliga, Der Klassiker. So we're coming up in a juicy part of the schedule, and I want to see guys healthy and really firing on all cylinders. So that's where I'll leave my Bayern Munich analysis. And while we're at it, I'll give a few thoughts about Chelsea's 8-0 victory in the Conference League today versus Noah. And no, you're not hearing things. 8-0 was the final score of that match. Noah's defense was probably the worst defense I've ever seen in a professional football match in my life. But credit to Chelsea as well, because their attack was definitely on point. It was relentless, and it was just overwhelming, a side like Noah, as it should. And Jim will go more over this match in detail, I think. But it was, for the most part, Chelsea's B squad, you can call it, lineup. But it was very, very heavily focused on the attack. It was, I think, really just maybe one true midfielder there with Enzo Fernandez, and everybody else outside of the back four was an attacking-minded player. So, you saw goals from Tosin, Marc Guiu, Axel Disasi, 2 goals from Joao Felix, a goal from Mudryk, and then 2 goals from Nkunku, assists from Enzo, Nkunku, and Disasi. But I don't have a lot of analysis for this match because, like I just said, it was really a good old-fashioned butt-whooping. But Jim will hopefully break down things a little bit more. The very first goal of the match, Tosin's goal, was on a corner from Enzo, and Tosin was really just unmarked, kind of came right in and got a header in there. The third goal of the match that Disasi scored was also off of a corner, and again, he was unmarked. He just ran right up there and scored. So, Guiu's goal, his first goal, did he have 2? I think he only had 1. It's hard to keep track. Guiu's goal was from a steal that was just near the box, and he just ran right through, stole the ball, was totally like unchallenged, and just took it right in and scored. And then the fourth goal of the match, which was Felix's first goal, was off of a steal from Guiu, but Enzo actually got the assist there again, and it was another situation of just risky passing right in front of the goal. So just the back line for Noah was really abysmal, and actually Noah's offense was okay at times. I mean, they didn't score a goal, but their offense at least wasn't in complete shambles like their defense was. But my moment of the match actually came in the 39th minute with the fifth goal, which was Mudryk's goal, and it was a worldly. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Mudryk's goal was one of the better goals I've seen this year. Just perfectly placed, bent right in the top corner. No chance it's saving. Nobody's saving that. You know, Andre the Giant with, I don't know, Michael Jordan's hops isn't going to save that one. So if you want to watch one goal from the match, go ahead and watch that one. Felix's second goal was also, I believe, off of a steal from Guiu. So Felix and Guiu were really putting in work up front there and just, yeah, I mean, cutting open this miserable defense from Noah. At some point in the second half, a little bit later in the second half, Nkunku finally got on the score sheet and kind of did everything himself there with the first goal. It was a nice one. Nkunku got his second goal off of a penalty when KDH was taken down in the box. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Chelsea is looking primed and good for Arsenal. Arsenal's, dealing with a lot of injuries and has had some up and down performances this year. So Sunday, November 10th, Chelsea plays Arsenal, and that's really a great one to look forward to. So mark your calendars for that and get ready for some nice analysis from Jim and I, as always, and hopefully we'll be back together for that next episode. And actually, before I go, few match awards to give out. We like doing that. Man of the match, Joao Felix, for me at least. He scored those 2 goals, and he just looked great. I'm actually giving the Robin of the match to Marc Guiu because, like I said, he scored there and got maybe an assist, but definitely 2 steals that led directly to goals. So really just a great match from him. Good to see him turn up when it was needed, because you haven't really seen a whole lot from him this year. And then my underrated player of the match is going to Nkunku for those 2 goals at the end. Most of the match, he wasn't on the score sheet, but he finally broke through in the end and got those goals. My defender of the match, I'm split between Tosin and Disasi. Both of them got those goals right at the beginning of the match and also played great defense. But honestly, a match like this, it's almost silly to give match awards out because everybody had a great match for Chelsea. I mean, even all the subs that came in, I thought, had moments where they looked good. So now I'll finally turn things over to Jim, and you'll get to hear his analysis on things. So, Jim, take it away.
A reading from Genesis 8:20 through 22. Then Noah built an altar and offered burnt offerings to the Lord on it. And God said, "Never again will I curse the ground because of man, or send a flood to destroy all living things, even though mankind's heart is evil from childhood." And God blessed Noah and his family, saying, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth." The word of the Lord. But God must have made a mistake, because he said he will never curse the ground. But today, did we have a curse from God in the form of Chelsea Football Club? God said, "I'm going to have Chelsea go to Stamford Bridge, and they're going to tear down Noah's Ark. They're going to tear down FC Noah, and they're going to destroy him with goal after goal after goal after goal." 8-0 Chelsea beat FC Noah in the UEFA Conference League, and I couldn't be happier. I hope you liked that one, because I really did my research. FC Noah being named after the influence that Noah had from the Bible in their region of the world, with the mountain that's there that apparently the ark came to rest at after the great flood. Noah could not stop the flood of Chelsea Football Club and the attackers that they have. Boy, oh boy. This B squad, they are so special. It's so much fun to watch. I was watching at work while I could. I rewatched it again just now at night here on Thursday evening here in Milwaukee. I love this team. And sorry, I keep hitting the table if you can hear that, but I'm so excited. I'm so happy about this team. I'm so ready for them to build on this momentum and kick the living crap out of Arsenal back at the bridge on Sunday. But let's talk about this game. 8-0. It was a typical start for this Chelsea B squad. And I'm thinking, oh shit, Noah are going to score a goal here. They're going to steal one at the start. But Chelsea do what they do. They settle in, and they dominate the rest of the game. They didn't even dominate possession, but they scored 8 goals, and it was incredible. The lineup was so attacking heavy. You got Marc Guiu, Nkunku, Felix, George, and Mykhaylo Mudryk on the wings. Enzo, really the only holding midfielder. And then a backline that I expected of Vega, Badiashile, Tosin, and Axel Disasi with Jorgensen in goal. But what a game it was. The attackers, Felix and Christo in the pockets with Guiu up top, they play so well together. They're building such a chemistry on this B squad that I just have the confidence they're going to be amazing every time they step on the pitch. Joao Felix, I'm going to say it right now, the best player on the pitch by a mile. The talent this guy has, we've always known about it. The way he can dribble with his feet, nutmeg defenders, move the ball into spaces that nobody else can do. Right away, he misses a beautiful chance off a Tyreek George cross that was beautiful from George. But I wasn't worried because I knew that he was getting into great positions and he was going to deliver the goods for Chelsea today. Felix was doing everything on the day. Long passes, good dribbles, smart play, cheeky little dribbles and passes to teammates. So I knew right away he was looking great and Chelsea were going to play great. And he missed that chance, but around the 11th minute, Chelsea get a corner, and Enzo Fernandez, who ends up playing the entire first half, gets his first assist on the day. A beautiful ball to Tosin for a headed-in goal. And what a finish by Tosin, I might add. Didn't see that one coming. And that third goal to Axel Disasi ends up being almost identical. It's so good to see defenders get involved into the action of scoring. That's one of the things I love about these Conference League games, Cup games. You often get more goals by guys who don't score as often. You know, Palmer, Jackson, Madueke, even in Nkunku, they're going to score in the Prem, in these leagues and Cups more often than everybody else. And for a good reason, because they're the best players, they get the ball, and they're going to score. But what's fun about this game is we had 2 headed goals in by center backs, defenders, and it's so much fun to watch. They get so fired up. Tosin's a leader. I tell you what, he's such a leader. Telling Enzo where to put the ball. Enzo puts it right on a platter for him, and he heads it in. And on Axel's, he's just strong. He's just stronger than FC Noah. Noah might have said, all right, I'm going to build 7 pairs of animals for my ark. But Axel said, okay, I'm stronger than your bull. I'm stronger than your horse. I'm stronger than your pig. And I'm going to score this goal. Enzo Fernandez, special on those 2 assists. Even more special for Enzo on his 3rd assist. Putting the ball once again on a platter in a different manner for Joao Felix to score his first goal, chipping it over the keeper. And I'm bouncing around here, but I wanted to know it because Enzo, a hat trick of assists in the first half, only played 45 minutes. Love to see him get his confidence back, play well. I hope that builds momentum for him and crosses over into the Premier League when he gets the minutes. And he will deserve the minutes at some point. Marc Guiu. Let's talk about him. So young, he works so hard. We knew this was going to happen eventually because in the preseason, he worked so hard, pressing like nobody else, trying his best to get onto that arc that Noah built, and he got in for the second goal for Chelsea today. Beautifully done, pressing Noah. And the guy ends up passing it right to Marc, but his finish was nice and tidy past the keeper. It wasn't an easy finish, and he slotted it in. So I love to see that, because to see him be confident in that moment, even against a lesser side, was incredible. And his hard work didn't stop there. He ends up only playing 45 minutes, just like Enzo, but to create the fourth goal, it's all Guiu. Makes a beautiful slide tackle. The ball ends up to Enzo, and he gets to Felix for the goal. But that's all Marc Guiu. It's all hard work, determination. And I think Enzo Maresca is going to look at that, and he's not giving him prem minutes, certainly not. But it's huge because it builds the team. When these young guys are playing well, it's going to be so nice for the rest of the team to see that, and the confidence will just continue to build and be baked in to these team performances. So that's awesome. And Tyreek George, he's 18 years old. He's 18 years old. And yet he played just as well as pretty much everybody on the pitch here. I couldn't be happier for him. I saw a post-game interview with him. You could just see the smile on his face. I'm smiling right now talking about it because it was so special to see. And he's playing a right wing. It's not even his most comfortable position, but he looks great. He cuts inside well, can try to shoot with his left, makes beautiful crosses with his right. Kind of got unlucky because he should have had at least one assist or maybe even a goal. Didn't, but I'll still take that performance. He was awesome. And if we go over to the other wing, Mykhaylo Mudryk, I almost get emotional every time I talk about him. And it's because I so desperately want him to do well at Chelsea Football Club. If there's one player I would hope that has a solid career for Chelsea, it's Mykhaylo Mudryk. It's always going to be him. It's something about him I love so deeply, whether it's coming from Ukraine, the pace he plays with, the skill he plays with, the smile on his face, the tattoos. I don't know what it is, but I love him. And to see him still build momentum and play confident warms my heart to the nth degree. His goal for the fifth goal, worldly. Worldly. Cut inside, bang it, top bins. Are you kidding me? He's learning how to use his speed sparingly when he needs it. He's playing more mature. He's passing well. I am so happy for Mykhaylo Mudryk. Misha, you are doing so well. And it just makes me so happy. I can't state that enough because, as you've heard me say on this podcast, I just want him to do well. I just want him to do well. And Felix, that Felix-Mudryk connection, that Felix-Nkunku connection, Felix has a connection with everybody. He was playing like Cole Palmer this entire match. He was. And if Palmer's out on Sunday against Arsenal, I'm putting in Felix. Maybe Nkunku, but I'm putting in Felix at least for a half hour because that's how well he's playing right now. He gets his brace in the first half. The sixth goal of the half for Chelsea. Beautiful breakaway. Axel Disasi ends up leading it. Perfectly plays him in. Makes a move left. Cuts in off a defender. But it was going in either way. And gets his goal for 2. Joao Felix, when he's on, he has so much talent. It's unreal. And I've already talked about him, but what he's doing in these games, he's begging for Premier League action. And I think he's going to get it at some time, which is really awesome to see. So halftime, you're up 6-0. They kind of pumped the brakes a little bit. They were trying to score. They took it seriously. KDH and Cassidy come on for Enzo and Guiu. Carney gets some minutes. Samuel Raki gets some minutes. The academy product. Love to see that, along with George, the young guys getting minutes. It's huge from a morale perspective. If you're an academy player, seeing fellow academy players get minutes with the senior squad, it only builds what they're doing in the academy and makes it more likely that guys stay and provides them with motivation to do their best to make the senior squad as well. So the second half, I loosely watched, even on my second rewatch. But I was happy to see Christo add a brace because he was putting in work in that first half. Got a little bit unlucky at times. Probably should have scored at least one. But he puts in the 7th goal for Chelsea off a play from Felix where he's so slick with the ball. The way he can move the ball as if it's on a string connected to his feet. I need to study tape of him to become better with my dribbling because I'll never be able to do that, but it's unreal to watch. Plays in Christo. Goalie ends up making a save, but then he sticks with it, which is so key. Sticking with the play, puts in the goal, adds a pen for the 8th and final goal on the day for Chelsea. And I'm a happy man. I am a happy man. This Chelsea team is so fun. And I know they've had ups and downs. They're the youngest team. It's a roller coaster. But I'm having so much fun. I'm not going to stop saying that, how much fun I'm having as a Chelsea fan. It's my 3rd year as a fan. I'm hitting my stride. It's such a good time in life right now to be a fan of this team. It's such a good distraction. Other things are happening in the world, but Chelsea are there for me right now, and they're providing me with pure joy, which is a rare thing in certain times in certain parts of the world. Chelsea 8-0. Noah, you seem like a good team. You seem like good guys. I'm sorry we had to do this to you, but I will offer you a minute of your time to give me an official statement. So here we have a statement from FC Noah. Take it away.
So I checked my phone as I was wrapping up some work in the office today, and I see a notification on my phone, Chelsea 8, Noah 0. And my initial reaction is, well, shit, nobody even told me I was playing today. I know not what time I needed to show up to the pitch, nothing. Not a single notice. And like, no wonder they put up 8 goals on me. I had no idea what was even going on. But it's funny because it said, Noah versus Chelsea, and everybody in my family, my brothers, my dad, are all Chelsea fans. And so for me, as somebody who, I don't have a Premier League team, but as somebody, who doesn't cheer for Chelsea in my family, it often feels like Noah versus Chelsea. So I thought that was a little ironic. But I think the first thing that went wrong today is that there's not a single player on the roster for FC Noah with the name Noah. I mean, that's a problem right there. I mean, it almost made me want to dust off my gloves and go and stand between the posts. And I did a quick Google search. There's probably more, but like a quick Google search shows there's like 7 professional footballers out there with the name Noah. So I mean, come on, guys, let's get one of those guys on the roster. Let's trot him out there. Let's make the namesake proud. But I will say this: I would not have wanted to be out there standing in the net today because Noah was completely outclassed by Chelsea, as a team should be when they're playing. A team from the Armenian Premier League should be when they're playing a team from the EPL that's at near the top of the table. So I mean, Chelsea did exactly what they needed to do. Absolutely relentless attack by them, capitalizing on a lot of mistakes. And frankly, I think 8 goals. I mean, Chelsea could have easily had, maybe like another 8 even. I think there was probably 4. If I watched the highlights, I think there's probably 4 chances rather, that I think Chelsea should have capitalized on, not even could have. I think there easily should have been, probably 4 more goals that may have found the back of the net. But I mean, yeah, absolutely relentless. Jim, you absolutely need to get a Mudryk kit now. After that stellar goal that he found in the upper 90. I mean, you gotta get one of those now, because I mean that's a goal worthy of the great number 10. So many great players throughout history have worn that number. And And so, yeah, if you have any doubt before that, today's the day. You gotta be decisive on that. One other thing I noticed too, that one miss by Nkunku where he puts it up above the crossbar. That's one of those that should have found the back of the net. It was a decent closeout by the keeper. In like kind of a one-on-one matchup, but Nkunku needs to put that in the back of the net. He looks like he was leaning a little too far back, and that's why the shot elevated. But yeah, you need to put that in the back of the net. But all in all, my final take, I need to see better from my own namesake. That's unacceptable. I don't care if it's the EPL. I don't care who it is. I need to see better for my own namesake and for the namesake of Noah's everywhere. But yeah, Boys in Blue took care of business.